You're my angel. You're the girl of my dreams. Y'all know what song that's from? Anybody could tell me what song that is from? What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Tremel Thompson. And of course, we have another special live today. And as you see the title of the show, we cannot let them trick us with their trick bag. How often can we continue to fall for the trick bag? And it's sad to say, the trick bag of the union, the trick bag of the MTA, the trick bag of these politicians. But today, we're going to focus more of the trick bag of our own union. Like, why do they feel the need to trick us all the time? Like, why do they feel the need for smoke screen and mirrors, technology, lies, deceit? Why do they feel the need to do that if they're so open and honest? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into that today. I know a lot of people is wondering, what's going. The MTA got a whole bunch of money. We're going to discuss that. I'm going to break that down. Matter of fact, that's going to be the first thing that I talk about today. But what I want to have you guys do, like I start off every show, I need you guys to share out this live because I'm going to break down video that's floating out there, new video that's floating out there from elected union reps. And I'm going to break down the trick bag that they try to impose on us members. I mean, enough is enough. When are we going to wake up and tell them to get out of here? When are we going to wake up and tell them to kick rocks? Now, like I said, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share out the show first. And I want you guys to do that while I'm doing that. Do that while I'm doing that. Let me see. But can somebody tell me what song that's from that I sung in the beginning of the show? Yeah, so let me just share this a couple of places before I start. You guys should be doing the same thing, man. You guys should be doing the same exact thing. Share this a couple of places. It's going to be a very interesting show today. Very interesting show. And they know the rules. If they disagree with what I'm saying, just come on the show. They all on the internet now anyway. They like to say, oh, we don't do the internet, but they are all on the internet now anyway. But let's get into the first video and we go handle a little MTA business first before we jump into the union madness. Go handle a little MTA business first. Let's go.
Best one game parlay. Boost your payoffs to the next level.
Approved by Congress, which Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer says saved the subways.
The bottom line is that without the money that we were able to get, the subway system never would have bounced back. What the money did is it staved off any fare hike for the next few years. It prevented cuts in service during the height of COVID when we needed our healthcare workers and others to get to work. It prevented layoffs of subway and bus and transit workers.
So the MTA's $17 billion annual budget has taken a huge hit during the pandemic when ridership dropped by 70%. Right now, though, subway ridership is at 60% of pre-pandemic.
I want you guys to pay attention. Not one time did they mention hazard pay for us workers. The MTA just got $6 million. I mean, $6 billion. $6 billion. And Chuck Schumer didn't one time say anything about hazard pay for us workers. Let's continue to listen.
Levels, and joining us this morning, the acting chairman and CEO of the MTA, Janno Lieber. So good to see you, Mr. Lieber. Welcome back.
Good to be with you again, Dan.
And so I want to discuss the big federal funding coming your way in just a second, but I want to talk real quick about two stories that kind of caught everybody's attention in terms of transit safety, if we may. Two incidents in the Bronx over the past 2 days. The latest is shooting on the BX-39 bus on White Plains Road. Any update here? Have there been any arrests? Do you know anything about these?
No, and this is an ongoing police investigation. But the good news here is not only historically statistics about crime on the subways and on buses, on mass transit in general, crime is pretty low. But we also have a new.
Now, we know that he's lying right there talking about crime is low. If you're an MTA worker, you're probably out watching this on assault right now. We see all types of crimes happening in the subways. For him to say crime is low, it shows that he don't know what's going on out here. But let's continue.
Mayor and Mayor Adams is passionate about mass transit safety, and he and Governor Hochul got together and made this a priority. So we're thrilled to have renewed focus on transit safety. We want our riders to feel safe as they're coming back to normal life.
Yeah, that feeling of safety can't come soon enough. I mean, on Tuesday morning, a teenager was shot at the Allerton Avenue subway stop in the Bronx. Transit safety really a major concern during the pandemic. So will any of this federal grant actually be earmarked for improving security?
Well, what the grant is doing is it's offsetting the fact that the incredible economic hit the MTA took, because at the low point of.
I'm not gonna sit here and play his whole entire speech, but they did not. This was an 8-minute interview. They did not mention anything about hazard pay for his workers after reaching $6 billion. Now, I am going to fast forward to the end of the interview because he brought up something important, and I want to touch on it.
In our 472 subway stations, you can get to every other place. What we did is we just took down a couple of lines where we had some redundancy and they run along tracks with other lines. We're going to be able to start thinking about restoring those services as our workforce has bounced back. And we had already done some great things to rebuild our worker shortfall even before Omicron hit. So it's all headed in the right direction. Nobody needs to worry about being able to get around on the New York mass transit system. It's there for you. And it's going to keep being there for you. And coming back to the original point, thanks to Senator Schumer, Governor Hochul, and our team in Washington for the grant that lets us handle it.
Yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to this road to recovery.
Wait, let me
Full
find.
service. We keep reporting in every.
Let me find that
Station
clip. Hold on.
in our 400 members who are
find that
struggling
clip.
with this tragedy. So.
Oh, here we go.
The trend and our workforce,
I do want to squeeze in before we let you go that you're
Check
also
this out,
joining
y'all.
in the relief efforts here to help with some of the Bronx family victims from that horrible fire. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, our hearts go out to everybody in the Bronx. Those are, those are real New Yorkers, and it's just a tragedy that everybody feels. There were a ton of donations from all around the city, including from MTA staff. And they needed buses to move all that donated goods, and we provided them. So we were happy to help. We also have MTA chaplains because we have a big organization to help the bereaved and help the community members who are struggling with this tragedy. So the small things that we can do to support New York and our communities in situations like that, we're thrilled to do it.
Absolutely.
Can we squeeze in? I'm sorry.
Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Not one time did he mention or acknowledge that one of our coworkers was a victim of that fire. This is how out of touch these people are when it comes to us transit workers. For those who don't know, conductor Versi Pope lost everything in the fire except her family. Her family made it out safe. That's the most important. Everything else can be replaced. So what we did at Progressive Action was we started a GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is in the description of this video. You guys could donate to the GoFundMe to help her and her family out. We're trying to raise $10,000 and give it to them by next week. The sooner the better. We halfway there. I think we have 5,000 right now. So let's try to get that to 10,000 as soon as possible, so we can help her out and give her a little bit of relief. It's the least that we could do, but it's sad that these guys don't even know that one of our colleagues was caught up in this tragic situation, and our thoughts and prayers with everyone who was affected by this fire. So that's what I wanted to show you guys with that we got $6 billion. There's no hazard pay. I mean, did I say $6 billion? $6 billion, and there's no hazard pay included for us. There's no talk about it. There's no nothing. And I don't know what the union is trying to do about it, but we can forget about that for now. We can forget about that for now. Now we're going to move on to what the foundation of today's live is about. And we can't continue to fall into the trick bag, people. You know, there's a lot of reps out here, and they trying to give us numerous trick bags and try to get us to fall for different things. And it's sad to say the person that's leading the way on that is JP Patafio. You know, I really thought that he was a little different. I really thought that, you know, there was something, you know, different about him. You know, he's a nice guy, but he is promoting that trick bag pretty crazy. And he's talking, you know, just foolery. And if you don't know what's going on, if you're one of those members in buses and TA Surface that don't know what's going on, it's possible that you'll believe in everything that he says. That's why I have to do this live. That's what propelled me to do this live, to show you guys how these guys are lying. These guys are lying. So what I'm going to do is I broke up some portions of his video, and I want to discuss it with you guys of how they lying to us, the trick bag. Next, I'm going to get into which y'all. It's totally sad with him, but let's start with JP first.
That if they're elected, they're going to get reform. And I would ask you to ask those candidates, how are they going to get that done? Because pension reform is through the New York State legislation. Our pension was created by the New York State legislation in 1968. And from that time...
Now, I want you guys to listen to what he said right there. He said that basically the candidates from Progressive Change is how are they going to get pension reform done? Now, the reason why JP asked that is because they don't have a plan on how to get it done. They don't have a plan. Like, Tier 6 been on the property for almost a decade, and they have yet to devise a plan to fight Tier 6. The question should be, how are they going to get Tier 6 reformed? Because they have failed close to a decade, right? Let's go on to the next video.
Reforming Tier 6 is hard work. And you need people that are going to level with you. When this pandemic ends and we're able to pursue lobby days like we have in the past, you want leaders that are going to tell you how to get together, what we're going to do, and have a plan of going to Albany.
Now, in this clip right here, JP said reforming Tier 6 is hard work. JP, you want to know what? Reforming Tier 6 is hard work, especially if you're doing the fighting from your knees. And that's what this union administration have been doing all this time. You know, they sit there, they shuck and jive with every politician they come across. We done seen them do it with Cuomo. We have seen them do it with every politician that they come across. They do nothing but shuck and jive when it comes to the members. And then they continue, or when it comes to the politicians, and then they continue to give these same guys they shucking and jiving with our coat money. And that's why I be pushing boycotting coat. That's why we got to continue to boycott coat, because these guys are not going to create the change that's desperately needed for Local 100 in Albany. And I refuse to give my money to politicians who is just taking our money and not trying to create the change that we need. Now, let's be honest. None of these guys, none of the stand, you see that logo behind JP? None of those guys want Tier 6 reform. It's easy for them to say that. It is easy for them to say that. But the only time they talk about Tier 6 reform is around election time or lobby day. How can you want something when you only do it 2 times every 3 years? How can you possibly say that you want reform when this issue only come up 2 times every 3 years? The most. the most. And then their answer to lobby day is, you know what? We're going to print out some Tier 6 shirts. We're going to sit in a large auditorium. We're going to say some speeches, and this is going to be our fight for Tier 6. This is not how you fight. This is not how you fight. Now, he also said that, he's trying to use the pandemic as an excuse as to why they haven't had a chance to pursue Tier 6 during lobby day. Let me remind y'all, Tier 6 been around since 2012. It's 2021 right now. We almost approaching a decade that Tier 6 has been in existence, and the pandemic only been around for 2 years. What are their excuse? What serious fight did they put up for Tier 6? And like I said before, printing out T-shirts is not the answer. Going up to Albany saying y'all need to fix Tier 6 is not how you fight to fix Tier 6. So when JP go back and say, well, how are you guys going to get that done? Well, obviously, we're not going to do it the way that you guys is doing it, because it's not working. It's not working. And this is their version of fighting Tier 6. And once again, what's happening in between lobby day and election time? Where's they fight for Tier 6 in between lobby day and election time? It's non-existent. It's non-existent. Now, once again, I covered the first half of the show talking about hazard pay. Anybody ask JP what is the fight back plan for hazard pay? Because that's active right now. Have you seen any plan about that? Did you see anything in the crew rooms, the swing rooms, the bus depots? Did you see anything regarding hazard pay and transit workers? Why don't you guys ask JP what is the fight back to get us hazard pay? Since he don't have no fight back for Tier 6. What is the fight back for hazard pay, JP? I'm asking you. How about you make a video for that? Let's fight back for hazard pay, because you want to know what? Every day that we don't fight for it is a day lost. Because sooner or later, things will get back to normal sooner or later. There's no way possible we're going to get it when things is back to normal. You guys failed to strike while the iron is hot. Now y'all not even saying anything about hazard pay. So to all the bus operators and TA surface, when you see JP, ask them about hazard pay. See, they could play the game with the Tier 6 because there's no parity with the pension system in Local 100. You got Tier 4 mainly, and you got Tier 6, right? So Tier 4 people don't really care about Tier 6. Let's be honest, right? But something that affects every transit worker is hazard pay. So for everyone out there, TA Surface, ask JP, what is his plan for hazard pay? We don't see no fight back. Once again, in the bus depots, the swing rooms, the crew rooms, we don't see nothing on the union website. We don't see anything anywhere. So what is their plan for Tier 6? Let's get into the next video. Now, this next video, we got to pay attention, because they play this game. They play identity politics, right? So they will use a woman, right, to say X, Y, and Z. They would use a black person to say X, Y, and Z. They even use identity politics depending on if you're American or West Indian. This is the games that they play, and we continue to fall for that trick bag all the time. So I want to go into another part of the video. And this is a video that they all did together where they was talking about nonsense as normal, but something stood out to me and I want to point it out. Check it out.
And we're not going to lie to you, and we're not going to cheat.
It's about including our women for the future in TA Surface.
Now, listen to what she said. She said it's about including the women into the future of TA Surface, right? So progressive change, the woman that they did have run on the slate, she became ineligible. So they try to make it seem like that progressive change don't got no women involved and things of that nature. Progressive change have a lot of female supporters, and everyone can get involved in this union at any given time. Now, what's upsetting about what she said is that, let me go back to it. Let me play it one more time. Because I got to break this down the right way.
We're not going to cheat.
It's about including our women for the future in TA service.
It's about including our women for the future of TA service. Let me ask her, what change did this administration, and we talking about the Stand United administration, what change happened for women since they've been in office? That has to be the question that needs to be asked. What change did they create since they've been in office? Right? It's 2022. Women are still working without no light duty. The Transit Authority expect women to work until they give birth, and the union is in line with that. So what sense does it make? All right, you guys got women on your team. Shakira Grillick, I'm asking you, what change did you change or bring to the table that made life easier for women on this property? Right? Now, of course, it's hard to get, they don't have no women running with them right now. Do you know how hard it is to even get men to run? Like, we talking about union politics. Not everybody is set out for that. Not everybody want to be a part of the go along, get along gang. Not everybody want to take a position that you take to be released, to just be off the bus and not really confront these issues head on. What change have you done to make life easier or respectable, as I should say, for women on the property in TA surface or in Local 100 in general? That has to be the question to ask. We're not going to allow them to continue with these trick bags. That's just not what we're going to do. Now let's go into let's finish with JP. Let's go back to the nonsense that he's saying.
Sure that there is parity, but I won't promise you elect me and I'm going to get it done. I got my magic wand in my back pocket, and after you vote for me, it comes out. Because I know that's false. And I know it's untrue. I know.
Let's listen to what he said. JP, let's be honest. You know that you cannot promise that. You cannot promise. See, this trickery that they pull is mind-boggling. JP, you cannot promise you're going to change Tier 6. Why? Because you've been around the entire time Tier 6 been around. It's not like you haven't been in the game. You're in the game, JP. So you can't say how you go promise to change Tier 6 because you have yet to move the needle on Tier 6. And you're in office as a VP. So how are you going to help to change Tier 6? Right? Now, you have been a major part as to why Tier 6 has not been changed. You ever thought about it like that? So how can you promise something that you can't change, that you have the ability to change? Now, Tremel don't know what he's talking about because, Tier 6 is legislative and all this other stuff. JP, check this out. You don't have a militant bone in your body. You don't have there's nothing about you militant at all. It's going to take militancy along with organizing and mobilizing to get the change we need here, whether it's Tier 6, whether it's respect for women on the workplace so they won't have to work until they give birth on the job, discipline, higher wages. It's going to take militancy, organizing and mobilizing. And JP, that's just not you. You don't have that in your body. That's just not who you are. And you just got to face it. And to the people in TA Surface, let me ask you guys a question. When was the last time JP organized any type of fight for the operators of Brooklyn, whether it was any of your grievances as a department, whether it was assaults, whether it was what else assaults, wages, health care, paid family leave. When has JP ever organized outside of an issue for you guys? Look at them. They think that giving you $2 to drive 2 buses is a win. Why aren't they organizing to make sure that, you know what, Arctic bus operators should at least be getting $10 an hour to drive an extra bus, because you saving the MTA over $150,000 a year per person, per Arctic bus that's out there. Minimum. But no, $2 is a win to them. Oh, we went from 25 cents. Now we got or $1.25. Now we got 75 cents. And now it's $2. Yeah, we did a great job. We are the winners. No, they driving the extra bus. They saving the MTA health benefits for another employee, training for another employee, a salary for another employee, uniform for another employee, vacation time for another employee, sick time for another employee. But they only got you $2 of you actually driving the bus, and they call that a win. People, you gotta wake up. You're more valuable than what they making you seem, or what they presenting you as. You're worth more than $2 for driving the extra bus. That just sound crazy. Now let me continue back to what JP was saying.
Because I know that's false. And I know it's untrue, that there is parity. But I won't promise you, elect me and I'm going to get it done. I got my magic wand in my back pocket.
Let's stop right there. JP and a magic wand. He said, I got my magic wand in my pocket. Now, let me remind you guys. Let me put this on the screen real quick. Let me remind you guys. JP said, I got my magic wand in my pocket. You know, JP was the same person during our last contract rally who brung a blow-up bear on stage and was telling the MTA, don't poke the bear. The guy who is saying or trying to say something about a magic wand is the same guy who brung up a blow-up bear on stage telling the MTA, don't poke the bear. I mean, he can't be serious. Now, let's go into the video where he was telling the MTA, don't poke the bear. Listen to this.
Of Brooklyn buses. That's right. I was going to address Patrick Fraud and his ridiculous email, but really what I want to do is I want all the transit workers to stand up. Yes, sir. Stand up. Yes, sir. All of these workers. Yes, sir. And their comments, what they said, their analysis, their insight. That's right. The board needs to take heed. That's right. That man there is a liar. I was at a meeting where he agreed to this plan. That's right. And then he sends out that bullshit email. That's right. Yeah. That's right. You just pissed us off. That's right. That's right. And I welcome you to come downstairs on October 30th. That's right. Because we'll have some tar and feathers for him, right? President of Brooklyn.
He said, we'll have some tar and feathers for you. We're going to have some tar. The man who said about the magic wand, bringing, once again, a bear on stage for our contract rally. This is their version of fighting back. And now he said that we're going to tar and feather. We're going to tar and feather Pat Foy. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. But listen to the ad libs. Listen to the ad libs. We're about to jump into the next officer real quick. Listen to the ad libs from this video.
All of these workers. Yes, sir. And their comments, what they said, their analysis, their insight. That's right. The board needs to take heed. That's right. That man there is a liar. I was at a meeting where he agreed to this plan. That's right. And then he sends out that bullshit email. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can't even listen to it too much. I mean, to hear Wichard voice sound crazy, it's actually embarrassing. And it pains me to continue to talk about this man But with Utano appointing him, we gonna get into Witchard right now. With Utano appointing Witchard to something that the MTA has been taking advantage of us on with the workers' comp. I mean, I don't know what mindset that they be in. I don't know what Witchard be saying. I mean, but Witchard, he don't have a clue as to what's going on in Local 100. I mean, he ran as a top 4 officer and he only got 400 votes in his own department. 400 votes, which means that if he would have ran for vice president or anything, he would have lost. The people of his own department do not want him there. And Witchard be so far gone out of his mind that I don't know if he think people be laughing with him or laughing at him, but it's sad. It's very sad, some of the things that he say, his antics, and Utano put him in charge of workers' comp. I need all the workers of New York City Transit to pay attention right now. Witchard, we know that workers' comp is bad here in New York City Transit. I'm willing to put money on it that it's about to get worse. It is about to get worse. Right? Witchard, first day of taking over the workers' comp department, he fires Dan Dermody. For those who don't know, Dan Dermody is one of the best workers' comp officers we ever had in this union. And I discovered Dan late last year. I discovered Dan, and his work is phenomenal. It's unprecedented. It's exactly what we need here in Local 100. Even the work that Jose Melendez was doing, right? I told Jose Melendez straight up, yo, you're not a division chair, but you're a good administrator. You're great in that workers' comp thing. And Jose Melendez went to supervision. He's a TSS right now, right? So we lost 2 important people in workers' comp. Dan Dermody being number 1. Witchard, first day taking over workers' comp, he fires the number 1 officer in this union when it comes to workers' comp. Workers' comp is filled with trickery, deceit, bullying. They play this game. They stop paying you to force you back to work, so they force injured workers back to work because we don't get checks. The MTA appeal a lot of our cases, even though they know they're not going to win, in hopes that you return back to work before the appeal is heard. This is the game that they play, and it's only going to get worse with Witchard being the head of it, especially with him firing Dan Dermody. Why would you fire the number 1 workers' comp officer there is? I would have respected it more if you would have kept him on and continued to work with him, because he was doing serious work. He was writing the controller. He was letting the people who controlled the money in the city know what the MTA was doing, how they wasting taxpayer dollars. Dan Dermody was doing all that work on behalf of the members. And let me mind you, Dan Dermody was retired. He's not even a worker. He's retired, but his expertise, the MTA getting at him or trying to fire him over workers' comp, he ended up beating them himself, learning the game, and then passed the game off to the members and was fighting on behalf of the members. And Witchard, the person that don't know anything, comes and say, you're fired. People of New York City Transit, if y'all never listened to me before, I want y'all to listen to me now, because we are in some serious trouble. Some serious trouble. Now, I'm going to play the first video, by which I'm going to break down some videos of Witchard, because he said some pretty off the wall stuff that I think I need to bring to you guys' attention. Let's go to the first video.
On us, where now we have to get out of this condition in a unified effort.
Let me bring it back.
on us where now we have to get out of this condition in a unified effort. And make no mistake about it, there were whites who helped us. Take John Brown, for example. John Brown was a white man. This is why sometimes I make relations to our president, Tony Otano, because he has a good heart. He appoints people of color.
Did you guys just hear what y'all just said? Did you guys really just listen to the words that Witchard just said? Witchard compared Tony Utano to John Brown. For those who don't know, John Brown was an abolitionist. He was a white man who fought for slaves. And he wasn't one of those regular abolitionists. John Brown was a radical abolitionist. And John Brown was also executed for a failed excitement of the slave rebellion, right? So now Utano himself wouldn't admit that he's an abolitionist or he's radical for that matter, right? Because in order for Utano to recognize himself as an abolitionist, in which Witchard is trying to make him out to be, that means that Utano is trying to free black people of something. It makes absolutely no sense. But for Witchard to see the president of this union, a white man, compare him to John Brown, the abolitionist, what is Tony Utano freeing black people from? What is he freeing black people from? But let's listen to why Witchard called him an abolitionist.
President Tony Otano, because he has a good heart. He appoints people of color.
Listen. He said that he compares Tony Utano to John Brown because he appoints people of color and he has a good heart. Listen to those words.
To our president, Tony Otano, because he has a good heart. He appoints people of color.
In a union filled with different nationalities, different races, different colors, different creeds. In 2022, this black guy, this black man, Witchard, says basically Tony Utano is good because he appoints people of color to positions. If this is not one of the most silliest, ridiculous statements I ever heard in my life. I mean, I thought that I already seen bad with Witchard. But for him to say something like this is the guy who's going to be in charge of your workers' comp. This is the guy who's the administrative vice president of the local. He likes Tony Utano because Tony Utano appoints people of color. We hear you loud and clear, Witchard. Let's get to the next video.
You have not even seen that will wax rich off your. You have not even seen that will wax rich off your filthiness and foolishness. Gotta protect our women. Everybody knows me inside this union. Gotta protect our women. Can't talk ratchet to them. When they're wrong, you gotta check them.
Now, this is Witchard. This is a guy who says that we must respect our women, right? But in this video, he says when they wrong, and ladies, I want you guys to pay attention. Witchard want us, this is what he want us to do. When y'all wrong, he want us to check y'all. He want us to check y'all. When you're wrong, don't speak to them ratchet. When they wrong, check them. I'm not in the business of checking women. I'm not here to check women or somebody wife, somebody fiance, somebody girlfriend. I'm not trying to check anybody woman. It's not no man job in this union to check woman. It's not my job to check no woman here. I check people as union members. It has nothing to do with it's a female, it's a male, nothing. I'm not here checking anybody woman or checking no woman, but this is what Witchard want us to do. He want us men to check the woman of New York City Transit, of Local 100. This is the guy, once again, who's in charge of your comp. This is the guy who's in charge, is the administrative vice president. Look, he's saying this out loud. He made a video and put this out. Imagine what they talk about with women behind closed doors. Imagine if LaTanya tried to stand up for something about women and the men there check her, because that is the norm in the union hall of the things that we don't see or hear. Right? Maybe this is the reason why women don't get no respect on this property, because the men in the union hall feel like y'all should be checked. This is beyond crazy. Let's get into what y'all next video.
As men and women, when we navigate these systems. The other issue I want to talk about is when we are running for office and you have a particular issue, every culture laughs at us by the way we conduct ourselves. You don't see it.
He said every culture laughs at us by the way we conduct ourselves. Every culture laughs at us by the way we conduct ourselves. This is the pot calling the kettle black, y'all. This is the pot. I mean, I don't know. Like, what is the criteria to be a union rep in Local 100? Look at what y'all right here. Check out what y'all right here. Look how he was conducting himself in front of John Brown, aka Tony Utano. Check it out, y'all.
100. Local for transit 100. Local for transit workers 100.
Look at him doing flips.
100.
Look, hold on, let me pause it. Look at this guy doing flips. Let me do a slow motion for y'all. Look at him doing flips and tumble rolls in front of Tony Utano, aka his John Brown. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. What's going on? How is he conducting himself? Like, I found this to be super embarrassing that he's doing this in front of Tony Utano. And we know how he feel about Tony Utano now. We see how I got to do this in slow motion again. Look at him. Look at him. He doing this in front of Tony Utano, a.k.a. his John Brown. Look. Is this the proper way to conduct yourself? And this was at the African Day Parade in Harlem. Is this the way that you will want your union rep to conduct yourself, to conduct himself? Is this representative of how we want to be represented out here in the world? Maybe this is why transit workers are not being taken serious. So let's listen to what he said. Let's listen to what he said again. Let's listen to what he said about conducting ourselves. Let me get back to it.
As men and women, when we navigate these systems. The other issue I want to talk about is when we are running for office and you have a particular issue, every culture laughs at us.
Yeah, let's laugh. Let's laugh, everyone.
You don't see it disproportionately.
Let's laugh, everyone.
Local for transit workers 100. Local for transit workers.
Let's laugh. Look at this. Let's laugh. Let's laugh. This guy thinks he's Blade. He thinks he's Blade, and he thinks Tony Utano is John Brown. This gotta be crazy. This guy gotta be crazy.
As men and women,
this guy gotta be crazy.
These systems.
This guy got to be crazy.
When we
He has to be crazy. Gotta be crazy. Let's go into the last with y'all video. I mean, yo, that's super embarrassing. Let's see what he's talking about here.
I don't pretend to hide. Whatever I say to one, I can say to another. I'm not here on a gossip. Nobody bullies me. Nobody.
Oh, let me bring it
I'm
back,
not
y'all.
here. The president don't even know I'm making this video.
Yeah, that's what I want to touch on right there. Let me bring that back. Let me bring that back.
I don't pretend to hide. Whatever I say to one, I can say to another. I'm not here on a gossip. Nobody bullies me. Nobody. I'm not here. The president don't even know I'm making this video.
Tony Utano, a.k.a. John Brown, don't even know that he's making this video. I mean, what y'all? You a grown man. You needed permission to make this video? Did your abolitionist daddy give you approval to make this video? What was the need? What was the need? The president don't even know that I'm making this video. Do you know how silly you sound? Once again, people, this is the administrative vice president of the union. This is the person that's in charge of workers' comp. This is the person that's in charge of the UAP. I don't know what Utano was thinking, putting this. Maybe Utano wanted to be destroyed. Because there's no way possible you could appoint Witchard to something so important to transit workers that he don't have the expertise to. This man be using words he don't know the definition of. And this is not even funny. I'm being so serious. So serious. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Oh boy, man. We are in some serious trouble as transit workers. We are in some serious trouble. We in some serious times, and we definitely need change. We need change. We need to break up the monotony of what's going on here. We got to break it up. Like it's too many people in the go along, get along game. It's too many people in the go along, get along game, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Listen, I done spoke to Witchard plenty of times, right? Like my boy said, you gotta Witchard slicking did a can of oil. You gotta hold him with two hands. He's a con artist. He want to create all these changes in Local 100. What changes did he bring to station agents? How did he help the stations department? How did he help the cleaners in the stations department? He couldn't transform his own department. But they give him something as complicated as workers' comp, and y'all expect him to do something about it? Yo, transit workers, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you guys, don't get hurt at work. Do not get hurt at work. The MTA is licking their chops right now at what's going on. They're licking their chops. And I really wasn't going to say nothing else about Witchard. But yo, this video, and it's an hour-long video. It's more. It's more. And man, this is bad. We are in a bad position for transit workers. You know, you got the vice president of TA Surface lying, creating lies, pulling out the trick bag. Witchard calling Tony Utano John Brown. Some Tony Utano wouldn't even want to be called, I bet. And said that Tony Utano is he appoints black people and he has a good heart. That's why he's good. It's 2022. There shouldn't be that shows you that there's a level of racism in our union that Witchard have to say that Tony Utano appoints black people to positions. I'm gonna tell you this. Tony Utano would never appoint a black person like me to a position because I'm not one of those house Negroes like Witchard. I'm a field Negro, right? He would never appoint someone like me to a position because I don't go along to get along. I'm not one of those guys that would sit there and lie and not tell him when he's wrong or anything like that. I'm not one of those guys. Tony Utano, and I'm quite sure, like I said, I heard that he's a nice guy. I'm not saying that. But these nice guys don't want certain black people around them, and I'm one of them. I would love to sit down and talk with them. Maybe we could work together, but it won't be on the terms, the regular black terms that the black people in the union hall go through. If I have an issue, I'm going to confront him on it. I probably won't come here first, but I would talk to him about it, right? But him appointing Woodchard to this position, man, it shows you where he's trying. It's like he want to tank this union. It's like Utano want to tank this union, letting Woodchard be in charge of workers' comp. Woodchard never been in trouble with work. I got more experience with work and workers' comp than Woodchard. I know how to beat the MTA at their own game of their lies, they deceit, because I've been through it, just like Dan Dermody. I've been through it. I made connections in Albany to figure out how to get my case moving and what was really going on. Which y'all don't got no connections in Albany. He don't got none of that. This is man, look, we are in trouble. It's transit workers. That's why I'm gonna continue to be on the front line. Doing what's right for the members, man. No matter what it is, if it's about workers' comp, if it's about discipline, if it's about respect, I'm gonna be on the front line. If it's about these mandates that what's going on now, you know, I'm gonna be there on the front line, and I'm about to get back to work too. So listen, it's gonna be on and popping. It's gonna be on and popping, but we got to stray away from these characters, man. Like Woodchard make the black community look bad. How you call Tony Utano? Yo, what I want to see Utano do, I want to see Utano make Woodchard say a public apology saying that he's John Brown. That was very divisive. This should not be the direction that the union want to move in. This shouldn't even be, I wouldn't even want to put my union president in that type of light to say that he's John Brown because he appoints black people. For the people who just came on, did y'all hear that? He called Tony Utano John Brown because Tony Utano appoints people of color to positions. Could you guys believe that? Let me get back to that, man. Like, oh man, what I just did. That's crazy. Let me play that again. Let me play that again. I need you guys to listen to that. Listen to this. Hold on.
On us, where now,
listen to this.
For example, John Brown was a white man. This is why sometimes I make relations to our president, Tony Utano, because he has a good heart. He appoints people of color.
Tony Utano is a good heart. He has a good heart. This is why I relate him to John Brown. He has a good heart. He appoints people of color. Man, this has to have been the craziest thing I've ever heard what y'all say. But like I said, he's the administrative vice president of this union. He's in charge of workers' comp. He's in charge of the UAP. I advise you guys to not get into any type of trouble regarding the UAP. Try not to get hurt at work. Workers' comp is only going to get worse. And I'm very upset at Tony Utano for appointing Woodchard to that position or giving him the duties of workers' comp. We need new life in this union. We need a new standard in this union. We don't this good old boys playbook is not working. Like they not even innovative. Who brung them to the internet? Me. Who started making them, encouraging them to make live videos? Me. Who encouraged them to start creating all these Facebook groups, these TV shows? Who encouraged all that? Everybody who's doing TV shows now in Local 100 is my son. That came from me. They was not thinking about that before Tremel Thompson started doing that. Those are my children. They may not give me credit, but those are my children. That's why we stay ahead of the curve. That's why progressive action is around for so long, and we continue to get stronger and better because we stay ahead of the curve. They don't know how to adjust to progressive action. They don't know how to adjust to progressive action. That's why they lost. My kids, my too many of my children running across this property, and they got the nerve to not want to give me my respect, not want to acknowledge me. I see y'all out there though. It's all good. Yo, but look, check this out. While I got y'all attention, this will probably be my last event before returning back to work. I'm just waiting for the doctor to clear me. Hopefully I get cleared the next time I go back, but this will probably be my last event, and it's going to be a big event. I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. Oh, you want to know what? Let me put that on the screen real quick. Why not? Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me put that on the screen real quick. Let me see if I can find it in my phone. Okay, got that. All right. Let me send that. Let me put that on the screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm. Oh, this is crazy. All right, let me bring it on real quick. I love technology. I think I don't use none of that easy software. My software is complicated. I got professional software over here. So yeah, this is what we got going on. Defeat the mandates. This will probably be my last event. I am speaking in Washington, D.C. with some very prominent people. They was talking about it on Joe Rogan. You know, he got like 14 million followers on Instagram. Rizza Islam is going to be there. I'm going to be on stage with Rizza Islam. Robert F. Kennedy. Yeah, my circle got a little bit more stronger. I'm going to be on stage with some prominent doctors. There's 300 and something million people in the United States, and I'm like one of the 20 people that was chosen to speak. So you know I'm going to represent transit workers. I'm going to continue to fight for the that we won't get mandates, because I know everybody don't want to get inoculated. So I'm going to be out in D.C. January 23rd, probably my last event before I return back to work, with some very prominent people. My national profile is growing. It's getting bigger. The following is getting bigger. I've been doing a lot of radio interviews and a whole bunch of stuff outside of transit. But when I come back to transit, it's going to be so solid, so strong. I'm ready. As soon as the doctor clear me, I'm back. As soon as doctor clear me, I'm back. So it's on and popping. But look, we got buses. We got buses leaving from New York to Washington, D.C. On that day. We got chartered buses, very nice tour buses going down there. If you're interested in going, hit me up. It's gonna be phenomenal. We're gonna be at the nation's capital. I'm gonna be on stage with some very prominent people from New York. Like I said, Rizza Islam, Robert F. Kennedy, prominent doctors, and other fighters across the country, and we're going to be getting it in. So yeah, look, check it out. Do not fall for the trick bag at all. Don't fall for their trick bag, right? Don't fall for the union trick bag. Don't fall for the MTA trick bag, right? I need you guys to donate to the platform. Listen, I also need some more Patreon supporters. I need more Patreon supporters. If you are a supporter of the movement, please hit me up for the Patreon link. Actually, the Patreon link is in the description of this video. Please sign up for the Patreon. $25, $50, $100 if you really mess with us like that. Please sign up for the Patreon. Please donate, send stars. Please donate to the Cash App. The link of the Cash App is also in the description of the video, and the PayPal, but the Cash App is on the screen. $ Progressive Action 100. And it's 2022. We got to move in a new direction. We have to do better. We have to get involved. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.